Bruce Arians has an off the field role and is still dabbling a little bit, right? He was really dabbling last year. And Bruce Arians, this is from him. He said, if you had to have me pick the starting job right now, I would have to give it to Baker. He just has an energy about him, a leadership quality,
Hmm.
and if there's teammates messing up, he lets you know. And he's just a dog. He goes, but it's literally throw by throw right now. Kyle had an extremely good second half of his practice. Now this is one practice he's talking about. He said where Kyle looked elite, like a top tier quarterback. But it's day by day. We just got to figure out what quarterback is going to be the most consistent. We just talked about this 10 seconds ago with Minshew and AR. Most consistent. Who's going to make the less mistakes is going to be essentially who starts. It's not all about physical freak attributes, right? It's about who's gonna make less mistakes.
Yeah, so Freckle says here social media says posting, but Baker. Look, Baker's the new shiny toy. That's a first round draft pick. One of one right there. That's a big deal. Kyle Trask isn't shiny. Wasn't shiny when he came out of high school either. He's not the shiny guy. He's the guy that all of a sudden you look up and you're like, holy shit, this guy's winning football games. Now, for Kyle
Yeah,
not taking the reins here and really running with it, you got to knock him a little bit. You had 2 years behind Tom Brady. Now I don't know what was going on, how much Tom was helping you, whether or not, but you've been in the system longer than Baker. Baker is fighting to stay alive, so you can't give me like, well, I mean, I just said it too, but you can't say, well, Baker's a vet, he's been playing a lot longer. But I don't give you that. So for the fact that it's even a conversation, it's a little concerning on the development of Kyle Trask and where he's headed. Look, I love Baker, love his swagger, love his charisma, love his leadership. I think he's got the way he carries himself. I also feel like he hasn't really had a good situation. I don't think Cleveland's a place for anyone. It's a place to go die. It's a place where dreams go die. Then you go to Carolina,
yeah,
where you're fighting with, is it Wentz or is it Darnold? Darnold. Fighting with Darnold, same guy to me. And you really not, it's just an unhealthy situation there, a team that's falling apart, trying to figure that out. Then you get shipped off to the Rams, and he kind of balls out with Los Angeles. You
yeah.
get
Balls
brought in
out,
as,
and then
yeah, he
just
does,
gets cut.
bro, does a great job. Resurges a little bit, makes some big W's. I mean, he's running around with his head cut off every single play. It wasn't like the Rams were really destined to do anything right. You put this guy in it, put a guy who's been in a shitty situation in a shittier situation, and expect him to just make magic, and he did. He polished a turd basically out there in LA for what he could do. And now you're giving him a fresh start. I think he's in a healthy place mentally. I think the Tampa Bay is a much better organization than two of the three that I just mentioned in Cleveland and Carolina. And I think it's a much better team moving forward. Baker's definitely going to be your day one guy. 110%. It's not even going to be close unless something happens and he gets hurt. Baker Mayfield will be the starter without a shadow of a doubt. Put your money down. Lock it in. It's guaranteed. I'm Charles Barkley, y'all ask. It's guaranteed that Baker's going to get it done. And look, I love Florida. I love Kyle Trask, but you got to lock it in, big guy. You gotta lock it in.
Yeah,
Kyle Trask was not shiny coming out of Florida. We Florida fans were shiny. Callie Berry, what's up, big dog? But I wouldn't say he was shiny. I know he was a Heisman finalist, or he was in the conversation. I can't say he was
yeah.
shiny coming out of the NFL. I can't, or coming out of
No, I
college. We as the fans were excited about him getting drafted and knew that he was a top tier talent. I wouldn't say that from an outside perspective looking in. I don't think it was a shiny tool.
no. And Baker just has that. I don't know. It feels like everywhere he goes, it feels like that he literally has to fight. He's just a fighter. He's a survivor.
Who's that?
He may be a Baker.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
may just be a guy that bounces team to team, kind of like Fitzmagic, and is just gonna,
yeah.
you can toss him in, and he's gonna throw up six tutties in one game, and then, one game he may not look great, but it feels like that the guys around him always want to fight for him too. And when you're in an unstable position like Tampa Bay is, and you're trying to find a guy, and you say, well, let's just say that for this example, that him and Trask are 100% gridlock tied, right? It's the same, but Baker brings the guys in a little bit more to fight for him. They're gonna pick Baker because at a quarterback position, you have to be a leader. And it's not that the guys don't like Trask. I wrote that down. That the guys love Trask, but it's different when you're just a dog. I mean, we say it all the time, but when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just a killer, when you have that killer mentality, when you go and
He's cool.
plant that flag in the center of Ohio State's
Exactly.
toe,
You're ready to go to war with that guy.
you're just yeah, you're ready to go to war with that guy, and he leads from the front. He'll take a shot for you. He don't care, and I think that's a big thing about Baker. As much flack that he gets for kind of being a douche and all that, whatever. But it seems like these NFL guys want to go to war with him, and that's why he's the day one starter to me. It's
If you
nothing. I don't even even if it's completely 50-50 on him being better than Trask, it's just a leadership deal.
if you could put the mindset and the physicality that Baker Mayfield carries into Kyle Trask's body, my goodness, you got a perfect
Oh
quarterback.
my God.
It always seems like
My
that, right? I
God.
mean, it's guys like Baker Mayfield, who's
That's
6'1", which is tiny. He's tiny, but look, I think that has a lot to do with his non-success. Is his size? I mean, bro, when you look at him out there, I'm like, God, that guy, he's so tiny out there. This is what we talked about with Bryce Young, and I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young are the same person at all, but
Drew
Baker,
Brees. Drew
Baker
Brees the same way.
yeah, Drew Brees is even another tier mentally because that guy made it work, right? Like that's a whole other level that has to be found. Can Baker get there? Sure. And that's what I kept preaching with Bryce Young. I was like, I'm not sold on Bryce Young. Like you guys keep saying like size doesn't matter. That guy's 5'10". I'm 5'11", bro. Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, size is gonna have a factor on it. Whether you want to or not, it's gonna play a factor. And I think that's had a lot to do with Baker Mayfield and having a little bit of a bump in the road. But I'm excited to see what plays out. Look, that team needs a little bit of a resurgence, especially having an old TB back there. That I think that last year was a pitiful way to go out, but hopefully they can bounce back. They shouldn't be too far behind. They got a great receiving core out there with Mike Evans and